Hey everyone, there I am. I was trying to figure out what was going on with the connection here. I'm here on the screen finally, and we have our normal hosts that are joining us each and every episode this season. We also have special guest Chris Wehan scheduled to join us on this episode. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast or on Facebook at Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora, and I'm with you pretty much each and every episode, except for that one time I missed out right before the pandemic broke out. But that's another story for another year. Hopefully we can all remember what year it is tonight. Let's bring on the co-host that has been around since day one. That is Dylan from County Line Coalition. Dylan, how you doing, man? What year is it?
It is 2021. Someone in this room is currently listening to our podcast as we are doing it. It is not myself, but it is good to be back. Hello, everyone. It is 2021. 2021, the year after 2020.
It is 2021. Dylan got it correct this time. Way to go. Give yourself a pat on the back there, Dylan. Let's bring in the man all the way down from San Diego himself. That is Alan Underwood. Alan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. Doing fine. It's spring break, which means I'm sitting on my couch, not going anywhere. So, it feels like a vacation, but it's not a vacation. What up, Andy? I feel like he's talking to me because it says nerd. I'm definitely one of those. So what's up, Andy? What's up, Chad? What's up, Russell?
Is this like record now for the most listeners at the very beginning of a stream we've ever had? Who knows? But let's bring in the one other person here, the newest member of the team, all the way up there in Reno, Nevada. He is now a member of our podcast, and that is Brad Polanski. Brad, how's it going, man?
Can you try to say my last name again?
It's a thing he can't do. I mean,
I know. I just
how do you not realize? Anyone knows that
him.
I can't get names right. I mean, I butcher everything.
You can't get names right. Dylan can't get years right. And yeah, I'm here.
Is it Polanski?
Polanski.
I got it eventually. But yeah, and yeah, Larry, we agree with you. At least Alan probably agrees with you. Nerds do rule the world, right? Or run the world. I mean, look at Bill Gates, whoever else. What other nerds are there? I don't know. But we're not here to talk about just that. We're here to talk about some Orange County Soccer Club this episode. And what we're going to do is, here's the rundown. We're going to briefly talk about the preseason. I know the preseason is very difficult to get into because pretty much it's a new team, new players joining Orange County. A lot of the opponents are either local universities or colleges or lower division teams, or maybe one or two USL opponents when you look at the schedule for most USL teams. But we're going to just sort of go through it really quick, analyze a little bit. We're also going to talk about the announcement of the home opener for Orange County. It's going to be against Sacramento. So that's going to be an awesome time. And then, like I said, we have a guest joining us a little bit later on in the episode to talk about joining the new team. It's another new member of this team. We had Adam Jean on last week, and we got Chris Wehan on this week. So let's get into this. So I'm going to jump over to you, Dylan. I'm sure you're not prepared for this because I did not warn you, or I did not give you any hint at what's going to go on. But do you have access to our preseason schedule in front of you?
No, I went to look for it earlier, and then I got distracted by something. So
you weren't prepared?
Let's go to Mr. Allen. Mr.
Yeah,
Always Prepared. Yes. So, Alan, give us the quick rundown on the preseason schedule. Who are we facing throughout the preseason?
April 10th against Cal State Fullerton, the Titans. April 17th against LA Galaxy 2. April 24th away against Colorado Springs Switchbacks
Colorado
FC.
Swings?
Colorado Swings. I mean, they
That
do.
would be a cool name right there,
Left
man.
or right
There's
handed?
some good jazz in Colorado. I know they look kind of get
that bad.
overlooked, but there's some good jazz in Colorado. May 1st is UC Riverside and Azusa Pacific University. And I don't know if they're combining those two or they're going to do a split squad. And then May 8th versus Ventura Fusion.
All right. So there we have the preseason schedule. Again, it's sometimes difficult to really know what's going to happen in the preseason because you're playing against a lot of non-league opponents. You really don't know what's happening with Orange County and the roster that they'll be putting out there because they're going to be trying some new things out, trying some players out in positions. I'm sure it's for any team, it's an opportunity to sort of just fill out your roster, figure out who's going to fit where, how the game plan is going to work out. Let me go to Dylan because we somehow lost him for a second there if you're watching the live stream, but he is back on here. Dylan, what are your thoughts on A, the schedule, like who we're facing, and B, what are you expecting to see out of Orange County in the preseason?
I'm hoping to see, I'm expecting to see some rough performances. There's a lot of new pieces to this team. I don't expect to see a lot of goals, but I feel like we should expect to see a lot of goals. I mean, previously, I remember watching preseason games in 2018 and going, oh man, we're bad. We're really bad. Barely beating Cal State Fullerton 1-0. I was like, oh, this is going to be another rough year. And then look what happened. So I won't stress about it. There's a plan, right? Landon Donovan down there in San Diego likes to talk about things being on or ahead of schedule. We haven't played a preseason match yet, so who knows what's going to happen. But we can expect good, but not great.
I took Dylan off the stream for just a second there, and that's why my face popped up there. Let me jump over to you, Brad, because we haven't heard from you yet with any analysis or any thoughts. Preseason is meant more just to get the players back into form, give them an opportunity to get out on the pitch and actually work with their teammates. So a lot of new players have joined the team. What do you see as the benefit of the preseason, especially, what is it? I think 8 matches in the preseason, which seems like a hefty preseason schedule. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's 6, not 8, or
Okay,
maybe
I can't
5
count.
if they're combined. UC
count,
Riverside
can't
and
see.
Azusa.
Okay, I can't count. I just yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. But I guess with the preseason, the thing that you always have to look out for is, the synergy of the players, where they're at, and how much playing time the starting 11 gets compared to the players that are either trialists or fringe players that are looking for more time during the regular season. And those are the two things that I usually look out for in a preseason game.
So, Alan, let me jump over to you. Who is preseason more important for? Is it more important for that fringe player that is looking to make a statement and prove that they should be getting minutes during the regular season? Or is it more important for the star players on the roster or the more experienced players on the roster just to be able to get into form and be ready for the kickoff against Sacramento?
Yes. I think both of those things have kind of an equal importance. Some teams like to schedule teams that are maybe a little bit harder, bigger competition. But there's also a downside of that is if you're playing tougher competition, it means you might not be able to work on some of those things you want to develop and see guys putting plays together. So it's about, like Andy says, it's about getting fitness for the guys that are going to make the team. But I think it's finding a few more depth players, maybe that diamond in the rough that is going to come in handy over the course of a long season. You want to have some depth guys that you can find to fit into some pieces. And then tactically, you might try throwing somebody into a unique position, maybe moving them up the midfield, moving them back from the forward line, trying some things out to see where guys can fit and try some of that stuff out as well. So I think it's the coaching staff getting a good look at where their team is and where they're going to play. It's getting fitness for the guys are going to play 90 most of the time. And then I think that last little bit is, you got some trialists, you got some, open tryout guys, and you're seeing what they're made of and to see if they're going to be long-term projects or guys you can plug in a little bit sooner.
Dylan, I'm going to throw it over to you with this next question. Is there anyone on the Orange County roster that maybe you can make a prediction or guess for that they are going to be they're going to prove themselves in preseason and maybe give themselves an opportunity? Maybe someone that's on the fringes of getting playing time and they're going to potentially be able to show themselves in the preseason. Is there anyone that comes to mind for that?
This is Ronaldo Damu, and I mean I don't know how to say his last name. It could be Damas, but I think it's his spot to say, I'm not Diego Lopez. Like, I'm not going to be this young player that's just going to like be there and I'm going to get like one opportunity. It's really his place in this preseason to say, like, I deserve minutes. I either deserve to start if it's going to be a top 2, or I deserve to come on as a sub.
Alan, do you have any thoughts on anyone that you think this is a great opportunity for them to go from, barely making the roster or the game day roster to actually potentially showing that they should be getting minutes in the season?
I think we talked a little bit about this last time about how many forwards there are. I don't know if there's a guy who's maybe doesn't have a lot of minutes, but these are some of the games that some of these guys might be able to earn that starting 11 and kind of separate themselves to get into those forward positions. And then that might inform the coaching staff if you're going to do, 2 up top, or you're going to do 3 up top. We've seen the team go back and forth over the past couple of years of, 2 attacking, forwards, and then there was kind of a 3, and then they went back to 2. So I think it's for sure establishing that front line, and what Andy said is establishing who that number 1 goalkeeper is. I don't necessarily think there's guys who have like low minutes and trying to find their way in the team. I think there's guys who are all fighting that want to be that 90-minute guy, and they're going to have to prove it in preseason that they're the guy they're going to have to go with.
And let me jump to you, Brad. You're going to start us off on this before we move on to our next topic. Preseason, always difficult again to figure out, but we're going to just play a game here. Preseason record predictions. I'm going to go with you first, Brad. What do you think Orange County's preseason record is going to be?
I don't know too much about the soccer titans that are Cal State Fullerton or Riverside or Azusa Pacific or even Ventura. I'm probably the wrong person to guess. But you know what? Let's see a clean slate.
So you're going to go and predict 6 wins, 0 losses.
There might be a tie in there, but undefeated. We'll say undefeated.
Okay. Brad's going the easy way out, and he's just going to say undefeated. Who cares if it's 6 draws in 6 matches? He would still get a perfect spot on there. There's really no wrong person to do this, because this is sort of just a guessing game, because you never know what roster is going to be thrown out there by Orange County. For a lot of these teams, like the university teams or Ventura Fusion, it's their opportunity for their players to prove that they potentially have a future in the USL Championship, and they're trying to show off for Coach Braden Cloutier and the front office staff that, hey, look at us next year when you're putting your roster together. Dylan, what is your prediction?
I mean, I don't think things will go well in Colorado. Dealing with the altitude in Colorado Springs is a little bit crazy. Things are pretty high up there, but I don't see I don't see these college programs giving us too much trouble until things start to get a little bit weird when you've got like 8 teenagers on the field at one time. Then things will get a little bit weird.
So are you going to predict a record for us?
Yeah, I'm supposed to do that thing, right? Well, we're playing 6, so I'll say 3 wins and 3 draws. That seems
3 wins, 3
negative,
draws.
but it's nice and even.
Alan, what about yourself?
2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses.
You're just going right down the middle, 2-2-2. And then I'll make a prediction on this. I'm going to say 3 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. I'm jotting these down so we can try and remember these at the end of
Since
preseason.
everybody
and see
else
who
is
got-
making numbers, I'll do 4 wins, 2 draws.
Okay.
I thought
Okay.
you said 6.
Now we're making it work. And yeah, we got I don't know. Andy said 3 and 4.
That's an even 6. You're right, Andy.
We'll see how that goes. He did say, never mind. Let's do this. We're going to move on and talk about the home opener, but really quick, let's just take a quick break before we get there. With Orange County currently in the red tier, Orange County Soccer Club is thrilled to be able to host fans at Championship Soccer Stadium. A very small, limited number of reserve seats are available to new season ticket holders. To ensure you can be there for opening day, act now and place your season titicket deposit at orangecountysoccer.com/tickets. All right, so let's move ahead here really quick and talk about that season opener that fans will have a chance to attend, especially if you purchase some season tickets with the club. So jump on board if you want to potentially attend that first match. The league or the club announced today, earlier, if you're watching this live, if you're listening on the podcast, probably a day or two ago, that the home opener will be against Sacramento, the team that we now know is probably stuck in the USL and not moving to MLS anytime soon. Again, sorry for Sacramento fans if anyone's listening on that. I didn't realize that before we went live, I grabbed a beer that I had in my fridge. It's called Wakey Wakey from New Glory Craft Brewery, and they're based out of Sacramento. So I don't know if that was just luck or how that went, but that match is going to be on May 22nd at Championship Soccer Stadium. How excited are we? I'm going to go to you first, Dylan. How excited are we that there is now a date for a home opener of the 2021 USL Championship season for Orange County?
It feels nice. It feels nice that I know that a lot more people will be vaccinated, that our COVID rate should be substantially lower by then, and that we should be able to have quite a bit more butts in seats. That's what excites me. I know the players really want to play in front of the fans, right? Every time we've had a guest player come on, they've said, "Oh, we miss playing for the fans," or I love hearing the fans. So I'm expecting that. I mean, even for both sides, it'll be a really good time. But even for the supporters, I'm excited to hopefully be one of the people that gets to be included and get my butt in the seat and then immediately stand for 90 minutes.
Perfect. Exciting. Alan, I don't know if you're going to be at that home opener, but how excited are you for the season getting underway and a set date now for Orange County's first home match?
I'm pretty excited. It's been a little bit of a time since I've been to a live sporting event, that the prospects of that happening again are really good, and I'm excited for that. I think this is a good matchup. This is kind of similar to Orange County's matchup last season, where you're starting your year off with some really solid competition just to kind of see where you are. You're not easing your way into it. Sacramento, if you take out Reno, RIP Reno, Sacramento is a top 4 from the West last year. So they're a good club, a good side, and it's going to be a good benchmark right away to see if Orange County can put 3 points on the board. You get to see them twice at home and away twice. So each home win is going to be a really big, a big 3 points to distance yourself to get into those top 4 for playoff spots.
I'm going to move over to you, Brad, as a Reno fan from previous seasons. There's 2 teams you probably circled in the calendar each year as your opponents, is Vegas and Sacramento as like the big enemies of Reno. What are your thoughts on this first match? Is it a good matchup for Orange County, or is it a scary matchup for Orange County?
I was unmuted. So Sacramento always fields a quality roster. They are always going to be a team that's going to push you the whole 90 minutes. They have an aggressive defense. Cam Iwasa has been one of those players that has been consistent in scoring year in and year out. And they've also upgraded across the field over the past couple of years. They just brought in Duke Lacroix, previous of Reno, en route through Charlotte from last year, and Tucker Bone from Reno. But they've always just been a good team. And it's best to face them early on in the season because they often do get out to a slow start. And just having the first home game being the first time you face them, I think is also an advantage. Just because when you play teams 4 times a year, you either want to be at home during the first game or the last game or both. That way, when you know each other's movements towards the end of that last 4th game, you have the advantage of the home crowd on top of that too.
I do think that Orange County also has a little bit of a case to make, especially after the game last season where they were up. They got a red card. You thought they were going to walk over Sacramento, and then Sacramento came on really big at the end and won 2-1. So I think that maybe is a little bit in their memories of, hey, we got to put that behind us. Let's put this down and let's get a good win to kind of redeem that game last year.
And you have enough returning players on the roster, unlike maybe some previous USL seasons where there's huge roster turnover. There's actually a good amount of returning players on this Orange County roster that can remember that experience. And then also, the taste in the fans' mouths from having to listen to some of those Sacramento commentators on some of those matches as well. Oh, trust me, there's a lot of, I get where you're coming from, Brad, but there's a lot of Orange County fans that I think were upset during that match. I believe it was that match, if not that match, the previous match between the two with the commentating by, I just gave Dylan a huge headache with my word creation there. Dylan, what are your thoughts? Is Orange County going to be successful in this match? Are they going to be able to come out with 3 points or at least 1 point? I know you want 3 points in the first match, but at least come away with some sort of results, or is this a scary first match?
I'm going to say they can get 3 points. I don't know if this is going to be, we're all going to complain. Absolutely. Well, I guess we'll be at home, so we'll be complaining, but I think we maybe hold a little bit more bitter taste in our mouth having to deal with the commentators than the players do. I know the key to success for these players is having a short memory. I mean, I wonder if you asked Michael Roscoe, would he remember this match? Maybe. But I don't think he could tell you exactly everything that happened. And I don't think that necessarily matters. I think the players, more than wanting to get one back on Sacramento, will just be focused on trying to get 3 points to open the season.
Alan, Orange County got off to... Okay. Looking back at last season, the very first match was a draw. It was sort of a rough first match for the team. And then you get into the long break, and then they come back and they start strong against Phoenix. Which Orange County do we see? And we're going to get into like a prediction about this match as we get closer to opening day. But what do you anticipate Orange County putting on the pitch? Is it going to be more that energy that we saw against El Paso Locomotive last season, or is it going to be more the energy we saw when they saw it was Phoenix as their opponent?
I think you're going to see a increase in adrenaline, especially at the first part of the match. There's going to be a crowd. There's going to be people cheering. There's going to be a lot of high energy, and sometimes that means exciting football, and sometimes that means chaotic football and sloppy football. So I'm hoping to see a really solid, focused team that uses that wave of energy to start the game off well, and then kind of rides it into the end of the game. There's going to be, the first game's always going to be a little bit of a hot mess, but I think with having fans back in the stands is going to make a pretty good difference for Orange County. And I see them starting off a little bit hot, and then we'll see what happens game 2, game 3, game 4 to see if they can maintain that. But I think that having that first game back, they're going to be energized and going to be ready to put it all out there.
Awesome. Brad, I'll give you any last thoughts on this first match against Sacramento. Like I said, we'll hold off any predictions or talk about the actual thoughts on who's going to win or what the strategy will be until we get closer and we see some of the action in the preseason. Last thought on it though, Brad.
My last thought, I guess, is I wonder if this is the first game that Orange County will play during the year, because I know there's a lot of games that are starting as early as like mid-April. April 24th is the first game. That's between Louisville and Atlanta 2 and OKC and Tulsa. And then you have to wait almost a month for the first home game for Orange County. So obviously we don't have a full roster yet or full schedule yet, but I'm just wondering if that's the first game that if we'll be predicting for the first time of the regular season, the week leading up to May 22nd or not.
I'll say this. I have no knowledge, no insider knowledge on what the actual schedule is going to be. We're going to find out when everyone else does. But I think just from hearing from the front office or some members of the front office, I think the plan was to have a later home match just because California has been one of the more restrictive states when it comes to COVID-19 and closing a lot of the public venues. So I think Orange County was just trying to proactively say, let's get a late home date for our first home. So that way we hopefully have the opportunity to have fans in the stadium. Because at that time, when you're trying to put the schedule together, you have no idea of what's going to happen, what the state's going to do, how they're going to loosen up restrictions. And luckily at this point, it seems like we're trending in the right direction. So congrats Orange County on what we're doing so far. Let's keep it up. Let's keep moving in the correct direction. Let's not fall back down, like what happened before. But I think that's the plan. So I think there will be some games under Orange County's belt by the time they face Sacramento at home, which I think is a benefit for the fans that'll be there for that home opener, because you're not getting a team that is playing their first competitive game opening night of the season type thing. Let's move ahead to another topic, because there was another announcement recently from Orange County about a tournament that they're going to be doing, a video game tournament. It's a FIFA 21 tournament that they will be hosting. It's in partnership with the OCSC Foundation. This is something that interests me quite a bit, just because, as everyone that listens to our podcast knows, I'm pretty huge on playing FIFA, especially I'm enjoying it competitively. Dylan, really quick thoughts on Orange County doing a FIFA tournament now. And I've put my name into the hat. I don't know, Alan, if you've decided to put your name into the hat for this, but there are some prizes. If I was to win, I probably would say, you don't have to give me the prize, donate it somewhere, but there are prizes for this. Dylan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, don't worry about winning, Ray. Don't worry about it, man. You're not gonna have to worry about what to do with that gift that you're not gonna get because you're not gonna win. I think it's good.
It's a low blow, man.
I've watched a lot of your EUSL games. But I think it's good. Drum up a little bit of interest in the season. Get hopefully some fresh faces to clown on you in a FIFA match. I'm excited. It should be a good time, and hopefully it jumps up a little bit of interest for the club.
What about you, Alan? What are your thoughts? Are you going to enter, or are you holding off on entering into that competition?
I told you I am retired from competitive FIFA matches. I hung up my boots. There's a really rough injury at the end of the first season. I had thumb surgery. I don't know, reconstructive. I tore the ACL and MCL in my thumb, and I've had to retire from competitive FIFA. So I am choosing to not play, but rather to spectate and comment on other people's playing, because I was so good.
What about you, Brad? What are your thoughts?
I'm ineligible to join the tournament because they did not have a category that said FIFA or PC Master Race, because I own neither a PlayStation or Xbox.
That's fair. I mean, I don't own FIFA 21. That's another reason why I can't play. I'm not one of those guys who hey, I need the newest version. I'm the guy who's like, hey, it's 2021. Maybe I'll buy FIFA 17 now because it's super cheap. I just got done playing Knights of the Old Republic, and that's like a game that it's like a square on your TV. That's how old it was. So I prefer some of the older, more inexpensive games than the $90 fancy. You get all of these cards that I never use because I don't play FUT or whatever that's called. Oh, look at this. This is new. There we go.
That was a weird view, yeah.
No one just needs to see my face that close.
The people who listen to audio really must have loved that reaction we just gave.
Right? They're like, what is going on there?
You missed something really special. You should come watch. live on Tuesdays at 8:30.
Yeah, we got plenty of people hopped into the comments on Facebook. Yeah, Russell, we saw you on the YouTubes, but it seems like everyone's hanging out on Facebook tonight. And they've been talking about how many people have come back, and 12 if you don't count Anna Voltson. I think we do count Anna Voltson. He played a game, so he's a returner, right? So I would say that is 13. That is 13, which is a good lucky number to have.
Is it? Do you have the data to back that up? I'd love to see some statistics. Do you have the XG for luck? Is there like an XL graph that I can look at, the expected luck when you use it, number 13?
But it'd be like XG, where it doesn't really take into account anything but just an average player and an average shot. Although I learned that it's the thing that leads up to the shot, not the shot itself. There's a different thing that keeps track of the shot itself. And yeah, there was an interesting zonal marking podcast about how to rate goaltenders using analytics, and they were like, there's no good way. So that was fun.
Sometimes the eye test is good. Apparently this is now a data podcast. Sans Ray Samora. We finally got our wish, Alan.
Yes.
Samora is out, everyone. We have staged a coup. Is that too soon?
A mutiny, maybe? Mutinied?
Okay, I guess.
I am here.
Yeah.
I am here. Our guest was having some technical difficulties joining, so I'm trying to help him out with that. That's why I was asking you guys to sort of do what you can do to.
We did.
To
Great.
talk.
We vamp like the pros, buddy. We vamp like the pros.
Maybe you should just send us to commercial and we can sort this out. But we promise it's a great guest. You can just maybe skip past all this rambling.
Yeah, here we go. Let's do this. So we'll be right back after this. I'll see if we can get this sorted out. Orange County SC is excited to announce their spring youth soccer camps. Open to boys and girls ages 6 to 15 the week of March 29th. 3-day and 5-day options are available. Visit orangecountysoccer.com/camps and unlock early bird pricing today. All right, so I think we may have been able to work things out. I think we have our guest now on board. That's the magic, Dylan. You called it. Go to commercial and we'll figure things out. And somehow, some way, we made that work. We've got our guest here on the show, and that's going to be Chris. Chris, welcome. Chris Wehan, welcome to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks
Chris?
for having me on.
Oh, there we go.
Appreciate it.
Oh, no, we're glad to have you on. We always love talking to our players, and especially the new players that have joined the club. And of course, you're one of the newer faces. Although I think going into the end of last season, we were still actually on the air before we took our winter break when the club announced that you were joining this club. We were excited to have you coming on, but we held back on bringing you on until the new season. What brought you to Orange County? What excites you about this situation and joining this club?
Well, certainly it's a club that's always been in my radar in this league. Had many games against Orange County that have always been tough games. They've been tightly contested. It's always a difficult place to come. But that being said, it's also home to me, and I still have so much family here. And it's just a place that I haven't experienced in 8 years of my life. I spent my whole childhood here, and then moved on and kind of grew up as a person in a way. And so it was a culmination of a lot of things that brought me back. But definitely, like I was saying in the beginning, the organization has always been a good one, and it's always been one that's put on a good team. And I've been a part of great teams in my career, but I'm really excited to be a part of this team, and I really hope that we have some success on the field this upcoming season.
Now, I'm sure a lot of fans, that of Orange County, they follow the USL, so they've definitely seen what you can potentially bring to this club. What can fans expect to see out of you, though, night in and night out with Orange County? What does Chris Wehan bring to the club? What do you do out there? Are you Are you an energy guy? Are you a team leader? What's your role coming into this club?
Oh man, that's a big question. No, I think certainly that's a tough question in certain regards. Obviously my what I've done on the field can speak for itself in terms of numbers. Not in an arrogant way, but I do like my chances in front of goal. I certainly hope to provide not only goals but assists for this organization. And with the talent that's on the field, I certainly think that there's going to be a lot of goals to be scored this year, and I really hope so. And I certainly hope to be a part of that. I'm going to be an energy guy. I always have been. Not in terms of not so much my emotion. Maybe every once in a while that'll slip through, but more in just my work ethic. How much ground I'll be covering over games. I hope that I'm always towards the top in terms of ground covered. And over the years, in my collegiate career, towards the end of my career in the University of New Mexico, I was certainly a guy who, I thought of myself as a leader, and I was someone that I hope the younger guys looked up to. And as I've gotten older in my career professionally, that's kind of something that I've been striving more towards. I think I've brought a lot of leadership to New Mexico the last 2 years, and there's a lot of veteran guys that have a lot more experience than me on this team. With the likes of Kevin Alston and Brent Richards and Adam John and Seth Kasipley, and certainly Michael Orozco, the team captain. Those are guys that have so much experience, and I just hope to be an addition to that. I just hope to be someone that the younger guys can look up to as well, on and off the field.
Chris, you, at least from what I've seen thus far, found yourself in a number of different positions while playing for New Mexico in 2020. What do you think your best role is on the pitch?
Can you say that one more time? It was positions. What position do I find myself in?
Yeah, I would say what position do you think you're most comfortable in, or that you find yourself the most successful in?
What position am I most comfortable in? I like to say that it depends a bit on the formation. I find myself most comfortable in the center of the field. More specifically as a number 10. Nowadays you have to say the numbers. I'm still learning on myself, but an attacking center mid. But I can certainly play out wide as well. It kind of depends on the formation. In Reno, a couple years back, I had success as the wide guy in a diamond. And then in New Mexico, I had some success as an 8 at times, and as a 10, that role with a bit of freedom. So it'll just depend on what the formation is, and where the coaching staff finds me. But I'm happy to play any role.
Did you have another question, Dylan, or?
Oh, yes. Following up with that, Chris. We know you can score with your feet. You've also been able to score with your hands, at least one time. Are you the answer to Orange County's goal scoring problems by whatever means necessary?
Oh man, so well, it's I missed the first part of that. So it was talking about the handball, right? And then am I the answer to the scoring problems? That was a big moment for the organization, the team, and certainly the ball hit my arm. But in that moment, I think there was no malicious intent. Wasn't intentional. I think it was just natural movement in the run of play, and the ref missed one, and that's not on me. But no, I hope certainly that with myself alongside the other additions that the coaching staff has made, that we can provide more goals. And I know that was a big piece of what was missing last year with that group, and I think sometimes in this sport, scoring goals is the hardest thing to do, and I think it was not for a lack of quality on the field last year or lack of the ability in those guys. I think just sometimes with the way the season was last year, you have a shortened amount of games in a tight span, and you're playing the same opponents over and over. Sometimes it's just hard. I've had games where teams that I've played against, or it's a goalkeeper specifically, or the team in general, that's just hard to score against them. And I think that might have been the case last year for Orange County. So I think with the guys that are returning and the guys that we've made in additions, I think that hopefully, I'm certain, I can't say that I'm certain, but I'm hopeful that there are goals to be scored this year.
All right, Chris, I guess I am next with a question for you. So, just like our last guest from last week, Adam John, you have MLS experience in your dossier with your time with San Jose. My real not concern, but question that I'm curious about is what's the difference in play at the next level up the MLS compared to a USL championship? Is it like a faster game, slower, more methodical pace? And how does that shape Chris Weehan's game coming into Orange County in 2021?
As compared to the MLS?
Yeah, USL versus championship or versus MLS.
The championship to the MLS, it's different. I think that the in terms of quality from the MLS, from the championship to the MLS, it's very, very small. Like you might be able to notice it. Certainly, when you watch the MLS, there are the top players that are very good that should probably never play in the USL championship. But I think there's a majority of the roster, from, I can't say a number, but the middle, even towards the top to the middle that guys can kind of mix in. And I think, when you're in the MLS, you're on a big stage, even for me and just in my experience in San Jose, playing in those games, the few that I did get in, it's no joke. The lights are brighter, the fans are loud, and it's a proper atmosphere. And I was at a couple of atmospheres where you walk out there and you're like, wow, this is no joke. So there is a bit of that, and I think in the USL the quality is there. This league over my time has only been getting better and better and better, and there's only been addition of more teams to the league since I've started in 2017. So I think in terms of quality, it's not far off, and which is in terms that it's a good springboard for some players. But I think I think that's kind of the biggest thing, that just the stadiums get a little bigger and the lights get brighter, but the quality of play is very good, and I'm looking forward to. That's another reason why being out here is so exciting, because there are so many veteran guys on this team that bring that experience with them.
Chris, first of all, welcome back to the Orange County family. And someone noted in the Facebook, nice beard as well. It's a good look. We approve. Last year, not a lot of good away games. El Paso, Colorado Springs, Salt Lake City is probably the best one. But being in the Pacific, what away game or away cities are you looking forward to going to visit? Now moving to the best division in the USL, the Pacific Division.
So the question was, what division?
Where are you looking? What away game are you looking forward to? Now that you're in the best division, what away game are you looking forward to?
Now that I'm in the best division, I like that. I like that. Man, don't make me say anything that's gonna the guys in New Mexico are gonna be giving me a hard time about. No, this is I think from the outside looking in last year, especially when you're looking at the games that Orange County had to play, a bit more. There's a lot more difficult games, I think, in that small group. And now the group expands and there's even more difficult games. Sacramento's going to be a difficult game. It always has been. But now we have the addition of Oakland, which we have no idea what that's going to be like. We have no idea what that stadium is going to be like. I am looking forward to that game. Between that game and San Diego, those two are the ones that are on my radar. I played at USD in college, so I'm familiar with that stadium and just kind of the quirkiness of it, in the sense that it's very small and the walls. It's almost like don't try and save a ball from going out of bounds because you might run into the wall. So no, I'm really looking forward to those two games. I can't decide between one or the other. I think Oakland will be fun because it's a unique city and it's going to be a unique stadium and a really unique organization again. So that'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to San Diego and certainly playing against Landon Donovan and that team that I haven't been able to see yet.
Yeah, and I'll just say this right now. I think Alan was trying to get you to say San Diego. He's from San Diego, and he actually does the San Diego Loyals, one of those San Diego Loyal podcasts. So I just know he was fishing for the answer, just hearing that question. Really quick before we let you go, we like to ask a couple just fun, random questions of the players that join us. I typically ask something relating to karaoke, but I'm going to skip that right now because you are coming after 2 years playing in New Mexico. So I'm going to ask you right now, red or green?
I'm sorry, I missed that last part.
You missed that last part. So I'm just asking you this simple question, red or green? When you go out to get a burger, what are you doing, red or green?
Red or green? Green for sure.
All right, that's that.
Green all the
right
way.
Answer there. Correct answer. Let me throw it over to Dylan for one last question.
All right, Chris, what is your favorite vegetable and how do you prepare it?
Favorite vegetable. How to prepare it? Favorite vegetable, how do I prepare it? Brussels sprouts in the air fryer. Then they go on the stove with a little bit of butter and a little bit of some sort of sauce. It's like a vinaigrette sauce.
All right. That's like the fanciest answer I think we've gotten on this show. We ask every player that question. That's definitely the fanciest version of cooking a vegetable. So you get that award, Chris. I want to ask just last question. Last thing for you, Chris. Any last things you want to say to the fans in preparation heading into the preseason and then the regular season kickoff in about 60 days, right?
Yeah, certainly. I think we're looking forward. I know it's been a tough year for everyone. It's been a weird year for us last year, not playing in front of fans, and I think it goes to show that the ones that are still here are the ones that are really dedicated for following and staying passionate about it without really being able to receive much, that being coming to games and enjoying that aspect of it. So I know I haven't experienced that fully that yet, but I know that there is certainly a passionate fan base here, and I'm really looking forward to playing in front of you guys and having more opportunities to chat with you guys. I appreciate the questions, and hopefully see you guys on the field soon.
Awesome. We are looking forward to it, ladies and gentlemen. That is one of the newest members of Orange County Soccer Club, Chris Wehan. Thank you, Chris, for joining us on the show, and we look forward to having you again in the future.
Definitely.
All right.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let me get to this. Let me go to you, Dylan. Thoughts on Chris? What are we excited about? What is he bringing to this club? Is he going to be able to? Is there going to be a place for all of this excitement? There's a lot of players that you're putting into the attacking part of the field now. How excited are we about Chris?
We're very excited because the man has a wonderful taste in vegetables. I think this is a good opportunity for Orange County to change its shape. And I think we're going to see Chris Whelan at the 10. We haven't had a proper, creative 10. Because I don't think our formations have ever really facilitated the need for one. Played like a 4-4-1-1 last year, and Polanski was really good at pressing, but not necessarily good at creating attacks. Very good at being a part of them as well. But I think now we have a goal scoring with his feet, goal scoring with his hands, goals assist machine that's going to play a little bit further up the pitch, which is going to go really great for us. And you know what? If he has to sit, it's not the worst thing. I wouldn't mind coming in after a good 90-minute performance and having some Brussels sprouts.
And I will say this, I just didn't get to it on time in the moment. It's sometimes with that delay from the stream, but Andy had the best response to that recipe there. Just a big, long yes. Alan, what are your thoughts? Are you going to go try out that recipe? Do you have an air fryer? Can you throw out some Brussels sprouts in the air fryer, throw them in the oven, sprinkle with some vinaigrette on top, a little bit of a reduction there?
I don't have an air fryer, but we have definitely done some Brussels sprouts in my cast iron with some balsamic vinaigrette and some bacon. You cook the bacon, then you cook the Brussels sprouts, the bacon fat, and then you add the bacon back in. Yeah, with some vinaigrette on it, with some shallots. Yeah. I was like, And I ironically, at our chocolate tasting that we did for, was that your wife's birthday, Ray? Yes. They talked about they found tastier Brussels sprouts. So those of you who don't like Brussels sprouts, you can try them again. They found new versions. So if you remember your childhood, these ain't your daddy's Brussels sprouts is what it comes down to. Yeah. Some red pepper flakes in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't like Brussels sprouts either, but now I love them because they have bacon in them and brown sugar on the bacon. It's a nice touch. Tastes like burps, smells like farts. Brussels sprouts.
It's funny what we learned on that chocolate tasting a few months back. We learned all this stuff about Brussels sprouts and how people weren't buying them. So the Brussels sprouts growers found new Brussels sprouts or brought back an old version of Brussels sprouts. I don't know. I can't remember. Brad, do you guys eat Brussels sprouts out there in Reno?
Yes, we are civilized up here in Reno, believe it or not. I know, unlike what Alan is saying or looking like. No, yeah, we have Brussels sprouts. For me, I like to prepare it actually in the oven. Just simple salt, pepper, some balsamic vinaigrette on it. But putting bacon fat on a Brussels sprout, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of having it be a healthy vegetable?
No.
Just eat them straight. They taste good.
Yeah, they're fine.
This has been a lecture from yours truly.
We did
He's
try
got that look, man. If you are missing the live stream, man, Dylan was mad dogging Alan for the whole time. He was talking about put some bacon fat on there, some brown sugar, all this stuff to make them super unhealthy. Look at that! Look at the time. We're just about to hit an hour here, so it's time to get into our random thoughts. I thought we might talk a little bit more, but we like to keep our episodes at an hour maximum if we can. So let's get into our random thoughts. I'm going to randomly go to Brad in Reno first. Brad, random thought.
All right. So my random thought is kind of what I was wanting to ask Chris before he left. But before I say that, tonight I am drinking whiskey. It is the Caribbean rum barrel aged Angel's Envy. It's very sweet, Doesn't really taste like a whiskey in the good sense, but still tasty in its own right. However, my random thought is a hot dog a sandwich? And my answer is yes.
I agree. I think Dylan agrees. He's clapping in silence. Alan's looking a little bit confused, so I think he doesn't agree. Alan, why don't you think a hot dog's a sandwich?
Because it's like a bun that's attached to the bottom, so it's not like two slices of bread. It's like a cradle for the meat.
That bun always breaks apart, and it always becomes two pieces of bread, anyways.
Then get a better bun. Get a better quality bun.
Where do you get
Alan,
your
what's your
bougie buns?
My random thought today.
He is in San Diego, Brad. They have a lot of bouginess down in San Diego. Alan.
As I sit underneath my in my loftus with my loft bed, because we live in a tiny house. We're not bougie.
With a shower curtain in the background.
Yep. Actually, these are real curtains. They're not shower curtains. Thank you very much. Because again, we're a little bit bougie. You're right. We are a little bit bougie. On a serious note, my random thought is the condolences to the families of the victims of the 2 mass shootings, one in Atlanta, one in Boulder, Colorado. Colorado's been through their fair share of these in the past. They just lifted their assault weapon ban, and then he went out and bought a weapon and took it to a King Soopers. But condolences to them, and make sure you hug a loved one today and share with them that you appreciate them. And with that being said, I appreciate the 3 gentlemen that I share this podcast with and all of the lovely people who've been commenting today. We appreciate you, and we can't wait to see you in person in Orange County. And condolences to those families who won't be able to do that.
Dylan, how about you?
Well, much love to you all. I have a book recommendation with an unfortunate title after Alan's random thought, but it's As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. It's really good. You'll probably hate it because people really, really do just hate William Faulkner. But it's probably worth your time. You've read worse stuff for sure. So enjoy. I feel like I had something else, but I kind of forgot. Oh, a hot dog is a sandwich. Same time, like a quesadilla. That's 2 bread-ish products with a filling, so I would argue that's also a sandwich. Calzone. That's like a sandwich where the bread's just in the middle. Like a pita, that's a sandwich.
Alan's just hiding. You're missing it if you're not watching live.
There's a theory that the 3 foods can all be divided into sandwiches, soups, and salads. But I don't subscribe to that because if you just had a plate of steak, that would not be a salad. It's definitely not a soup. And it's certainly not a sandwich.
It is a sandwich minus the bread.
All right. Well, anyway, it was great, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
Hey, wait. I got to do a random thought here. The sporting world, the Southern California sporting world recently lost one of the greats in Elgin Baylor. Passed away recently. Former Laker player, former Clipper GM, paved the way for African American and Black GMs in sports with his long tenure with the Clippers as a GM. Even though they weren't that successful, he still was there and he was a big part of that franchise. So I'm a longtime Clipper fan. I'm a longtime basketball fan. So that definitely hit me pretty hard when I heard about that. So there's that. We lost a good basketball player and a good a sports person in Southern California recently. So really quick before we head out, Brad, if people want to hear more of what you have to say on social media, where do they find you?
You can find me, as always, at Pal on the Sky.
What about Alan?
Hot dogs on a sandwich at twitter.com. No, Underwood48 on the Twitter machines.
Don't
And
think that's
Dylan?
how Twitter links work. You can find all of my stuff on Twitter at OCSC_Dylan or on Reddit /u/OCSC_Dylan.
And check me out on Twitter at DJ Racemore or the podcast on Twitter at OCSC_soccercast. You can follow our podcast on our website at OCSCpodcast.com. Or if you don't want to type in that long forward, just do OCSCpod.com. You can do it that way as well. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, although we haven't been active on Instagram lately, Dylan. Or find us on any of your favorite podcast sources. For Brad, for Alan, for Dylan, this is Ray. Thank you, everyone that listened to us tonight, watched us live, and that's listening to this podcast. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.